Hola, tis I, Alicia. Today we are going to look into Edgar Allan Poe. So, I'm sure you know who he is. But if you don't, he was an American writer, poet, editor, and literary critic. It's said he's best known for his poetry and short stories, particularly his tales of mystery and macabre. He's widely regarded as a central figure of Romanticism in the U.S. and of American literature. So, then his story gets weird around the time of his passing. October 3rd, 1849, Poe's found semi conscious in Baltimore in great distress and in need of immediate assistance, according to Joseph W. Walker, who found him. He was taken to Washington Medical College, where then he passed on to the other side on Sunday, October 7th, 1849, at 5 in the morning. He was not coherent long enough to explain how he came to be in his dire condition, and he was wearing clothes that weren't his. He is said to have repeatedly called out the name Reynolds the night before he passed, but nobody knew who he was talking about. His attending physician said that Poe's final words were, "Lord, help my poor soul." All of the relevant medical records have been lost, including his passing certificate. So newspapers at the time reported that Poe's passing was because of congestion of the brain or cerebral inflammation, common euphemisms for passing from perhaps, say, alcoholism. The actual cause of his passing remains a mystery because they lost the certificate. Speculation has included delirium tremens. I don't even know what that is. Heart disease, epilepsy, one of those things that you get from bumping uglies with someone that's got something. Cholera, carbon monoxide poisoning, and rabies. So one theory from 1872 suggests that his passing resulted from cooping, and that's a form of fraud that has to do with, when you go and cast a ballot. I don't even know if I can talk about that in the current state we're in now in 2022. Anyhow, so the cooping, you can go look it up, Cooping, and people were forced to cast a ballot for a specific candidate, and sometimes it led to violence and sometimes even deleting people off the earth plane. All right, so let's look into a little bit about Poe's life. Let's look into his passing. Let's even look into the creepy thing about, his only marriage was a secret one to his 13-year-old cousin. I'm curious. I'm sure you are too. So let's just look into it. We're going to use the Edgar Allan Poe deck that I've got here. It's a little shiny, but I figured it was good. So, I'm curious about, where did he get his inspirations for his writing? I know, everybody's like, where's writing? Let's get on to the spicy stuff. But I'm just curious, where did he get his inspiration for his writings? The more macabre ones. He was kind of it feels like he's kind of a depressive type. Yeah, it's just kind of like I don't know what kind of, I'm not a Poe scholar, so don't look at me to fill in these blanks here. He's like just pulling from sadness in his life. All of his ideas are just come from sad stories and sadness in his own life, and I think there's some type of reading other people's sad stories inspires him to come up with new sad stories so he can just wallow in the sad stories. It also feels like he might be doing some type, and I don't know if he would have acknowledged this, but he might have been doing some type of meditation, channeling as well during the times where he's getting these ideas and feeling like it's some long lost relative helping him. And then he just kind of puts his magic all over his works to make it work. But yeah, I think because then we had this Page of Cups, it was like there's this, I think this new idea, I think is this channeling thing he kind of discovers by accident. I don't know if he's like in a, one of those stages where maybe he's had a little too much and he starts getting inspired creatively to get going here. That's what that's feeling like. Okay, I was curious. So let's see, how was he feeling about life before he went on over to the other side? Was he thinking he's got some new things he's going to be doing? Was he just all sad sacking it about life? Interesting. 5 of Wands. 7 of Pentacles. Looks like he was like cool, like living like a comfortable lifestyle, kind of kept to himself. There was things he was working on. Wondering if he was working on also like getting royalties or rights or extra money on projects, working out deals on projects to get a better share of the deal. I think he was making some decisions here about his investments, wanting to, like, he was feeling pretty happy here, emotionally balanced for him. He wasn't really down in the drugs or dregs or whatever you say, whatever that word is. He's not down in the dumps. That's what we'll say. But it looks like too, and he was like, I don't know if there's this lucrative deal on the table. Maybe this is the one we're talking about over here, where he was ready to walk away from that deal. It's almost like I'm good. I got enough right now. It's also like, I think he was thinking about, I need to get back out in society. I can't just be writing all the time or whatever he's doing all alone. I can't be doing that all the time. I need to get back out there. But he had things he was working on. He's thinking about the future here. He's not, doesn't seem here that he's all like down and out in Beverly Hills or down and out in Baltimore. All right, so going back to his work, did he intend for his tales of, mourning and death and horror, did he intend for those to be taken seriously? Like, what was his intent when he wrote that stuff? Was he intending like people would like be like, oh my gosh, someone get him help? Or did he want to just scare people? Or, come on, cards, let's not be that way. What was the intent? How did he want his stories to be perceived? And if you haven't yet, join me in the Moon Moth Manor. Come to my website, aliciawicker.com. Click the button to come into the manor, and you can check out some of the videos I have that I don't share here. He just wanted people to like really think about these stories. Let me see if I pull these down a little bit. He really wanted people to think about these stories. He was like the audience was always a forefront of mind, who his audience was. That's who he was writing for. It's almost, like I said, wherever he's like getting spirit downloads, spirit could be used in both ways, spirit downloads, he's writing furiously, and it's making plans. Like, this is like everything he's doing, it's for his audience. But he also wants people to, like, use their noggins and not be like dumb and not have to put like a warning sticker on his books. Not that they did that back in the day. Maybe they did. Who knows? But he knew what his audience wants and wanted, and that's what he wrote. He's like, I knew exactly what they wanted. I just tapped right into it. All right. So he was, apparently he could trust his audience to have a brain. All right. Let's look into his first cousin wife, the only cousin wife, his only marriage in 1834 to his 13-year-old cousin Virginia Clem. They later married publicly, but I guess it was a first thing, but it says it was her first cousin. So what's up with his only marriage to his cousin Virginia? Okay, so they're doing it at first, and they are being secretive about this when they do this at first. There's something about, we're trying to establish some type of balance. We're trying to right a ship, kind of. Things have taken a turn, a spin, and we're trying to kind of protect her in a way. So this is like a way to legally protect her, weighing all the options. Because something was going horribly wrong here. This feels like he was doing it to protect her. Okay, then what's going horribly wrong in her life that you're trying to protect her? Because it's like, part of me is going to think he's a dirty bird because she's 13. Although I don't know that it was it illegal back in the day to marry your cousin? I don't know. Let's ask the royals. Anyway, what's going so wrong in Virginia's life at the time that he wants to marry her? Because it feels like it's legal protections. Like there's home problems. Like there's home problems, and it's apparently like there's no other solution he can think of to fix this for her. Like, it's almost like if I take her away from this home situation, then they're gonna come after me and try and take her back. So I'm trying to like make it legally so she's mine in a way that they can't take her back to that situation. There's something going on over there in that household that he's trying to keep her away from, trying to protect her. So it's not like this relationship was made because of love in that lover's sense. He had to make a decision because things are escalating in the home where she is. All right. But they'd married publicly later. tell me about this marriage. I need to know about this marriage. Did you then like, were you having a normal functioning marriage, as the sister wives would call it? Were you having a normal functioning marriage with your cousin later on when you married publicly? Like, what kind of relationship is that? Why does that card keep coming up? It's okay, the way that this is coming across, they were a good match in terms of emotions, temperament, that kind of thing. A good partnership. They work together fine. It looks like at some point we might have tried to, or we did, hook up, but that was like a one-time thing, and then like we didn't do that anymore. It was a thing where they had a good partnership. They had like a good relationship, friendship type of thing. Like, in a way, I don't know if she became like some type of muse or brought ideas to him. That's kind of what this feels like. But they're happy and they're living together, but it's like there was the one time, but I'm not doing that again. It was weird. Okay, I've had enough of that relationship. Okay, so let's see. What did he pass of? What did he pass of? Like, what happened? How did he come to make it to the other side? Definitely a fight going on here. There's definitely a fight going on here. There is somebody, I think it is the cooping thing. There's definitely coercion to make him go the way that they want for whoever they're trying to get in position. And at some point, I think he thought that, all right, I'll go your way. But it went further than I think he understood in terms of the fight, the attack. Like, they roughed him up here pretty good. I think here's the thing. He's out, and I don't know, they meet him in a bar, a pub, or whatever. They meet him there. He's already got, some spirits in him. And they offer to buy him more to go cast a ballot for this person. And he's like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. And then he tries to leave, and they're like, hey, no, you're not leaving. Remember what you said you're gonna do. And he's like, oh, no, I don't like that guy. And then it's like, what you said. And then it becomes this whole fight thing. And it's like, no, you already said you were gonna do it. You already said you were going to do it. You already said you were going to do it. And then it becomes take him outside. We're going to show you what's up. I don't think he knew who he was dealing with because he's a little bracho here, and he was looking to get out, just escape without having to do what they wanted. And when he tried to escape, he didn't judge the situation correctly, that who he was messing with was going to mess him up. Yeah, he didn't judge that situation right at all. It's almost like he's over there at the pub, like, biding his time. Like, taking forever to finish up his drink and stuff, and hoping he can wait them out. And then he can't, and then he just thinks he can, like, talk his way out of it, and he can't. So then they're like, all right, well, then we're just going to have to take this outside. All right. So then, how did he feel after he passed? What was he thinking about? Did he have regrets? Definitely was doing like a life review. Definitely doing a life review. He's making a lot of had a lot of clarity about things that were going on in his life. Oh, okay. He had more stories that he wanted to write, and I think he thought that, you know, he wished he could have enjoyed the level of fame and all of that he did afterwards. It's like, I see how famous my name is now. It's like, you know, it's everywhere. It's even on tarot cards. And I wish I could have captured that level of fame when I was around. And there's like a certain amount of desire to, of like, man, I wish I could come back around and use my same name and write my same, like, have a do-over. I want to have a do-over. There's a lot of decisions I made I would have changed. Feels like, too, in some aspects here, it feels like he was emotionally holding back some of the things he wanted to share in his writings because it was almost too dark. Like, super dark. And he couldn't share that. He knew his audience would not like that. But in general, he's fine with his book deals or whatever, his writings, and, you know, how his career was going. He was fine with, like, most of his partnerships that he had going on. So, he's not like overly sad and down and out, but definitely would like to come back and recapitalize on his name. I mean, yeah. Last, I want to look into, there's this psychic medium, Lizzie Doughton. And the story is that she channeled his last book of poems from the Inner Life. I found this. I didn't look into it too deep, so if you know something, tell me in the comments. But did Lizzie Doughton actually channel his last book of poems from the Inner Life? I think she did here. Ooh. I don't think he liked it. Like, I think he might have cut off communication at some point. I think that was like, I think she was channeling it. I think at some point, though, he was getting pissed because she had deals to make money off of his stuff. Remember how last spread he wants to come back? He wish he could capitalize on his name, you know, and his image and likeness and all the stuff, and he wishes he could come back and capitalize on that. And so it was almost like a thing where he started to communicate with her, and he thought this was going to be going well and stuff, and then he got pissed, and I think he turned off the flow of information. So there might be, I haven't read this Poems from the Inner Life, but it's almost like there would be a change in the poems. Like there's some that are like epic, which he would take credit for. Then there's some that are not so epic, and because he's cut off communication, but she's already got a deal in place that she has to finish it, like there has to be so many poems or something in this, and so he's like, F that, no, you're not going to be using me and my brain to get famous of your own accord, not having that, like I see what you're doing and we're not doing that. So it was almost like initially I think he thought it was a great idea, and then later he's like, no, I don't, no. Well, that was interesting. So tell me what you think about this reading in Edgar Allan Poe and any stories you've heard. I don't even know. Is there stories about him haunting something or someplace? Totally curious. Should have looked into that. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Give this video a like, and I will see you next time. Adios.